If you listen and enjoy our show, we're in the middle of a fundraising drive. So if you could go to thebillshow.net, go and press the patron button, you can sponsor us. And that would help pay for stuff. Click the patron button. You'll be glad you did. You'll get a nice warm feeling down in the bottom of the cockles of your heart. And now, on with the show.
Hello, it's Bernie here. Evidently, Bill and Randy want me to tell you people that you shouldn't listen to the show at work or in front of kids because they're swearing. Swearing in the show. There's a few fucks, a few shits, and some words I can't even pronounce. And I'm almost sure that they are drunk, but they're still not part of the 2%. What are they going to play now? Loud music? Jesus, I don't need this crap.
That government by organized money is just as dangerous as government by organized mob.
That the greatness of America is the right to protest far right.
And now recorded live from the palatial yet not overly ostentatious Bill Show studios, high atop their mountain lair, it's the Bill Show. And now here's Bill and Randy.
Hello, Randy.
Oh, William, hello. It's been so long.
It has been so long, hasn't it?
Like 24 hours. You're
All
not
right,
going
guys.
to admit. You're not going to tell them.
I am going to tell them.
Oh,
I am going to tell them,
No,
right?
you don't have to. You're
Okay.
infallible.
No,
You're
no, I have
infallible.
to. I have to,
You're the Pope of public radio. You have an infallibility.
No, look, I'm an idiot. Let's just get that straight. Ask my wife. She'll
Did
tell
I
you.
hear anybody argue?
I'm an idiot.
Do I hear anybody argue?
You're listening to a podcast. I'm an idiot, by the way. Everything I say on this show, just proviso, I am at times quite an idiot. And yesterday, the last show we did,
Which was brilliant. Which was brilliant,
great.
by the way.
It was the best show in 239 shows. I thought that was the
It
best
was a
one we ever did.
podcast Pulitzer winner.
Absolutely. We're now 597 in America, by the way, according to the Apple charts.
Yeah.
We're 597 political podcast. We beat out what's that guy who just lost his race in Ohio?
Driftglass.
Walker. You know the guy who he lost the governorship, I think, in Ohio. He has a podcast. We're beating him.
He only had 3 listeners.
Paul Walker. That was it.
start-
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're beating the shit out of Paul Walker. Anyway,
Okay,
listen.
listeners, we apologize for the fact that
Yeah.
Bill threw away into the computer rubbish
threw it
and
away.
pressed the empty button.
I did.
And listened to that sort of like crunching of paper and Superman-like wisp of air as it flies away into oblivion.
Did you actually, do you know that it was exactly like that? Because I was sitting there cleaning my hard drive to do the next show, and I hit the return key, to do it. And I was looking straight at the show, and it just
As it disappeared.
went away.
Willie.
great.
Listeners, could you just wait for a second? Bill,
Yeah.
I want to take you to take you aside and say, look,
What?
you've got to get an external hard drive or use the iCloud.
Yes.
Or
I'm not going to put it on a cloud. God knows
no.
who's got it.
well, if you put it on Dropbox, who knows who's got it?
I don't.
And we use Dropbox. What
Yeah,
I
we
was
do, but,
saying
that's all right.
is record straight into a second place.
Okay.
Because
will.
you can't be trusted with electronics
Mechanical objects.
or running with scissors.
Better than Trump is. Welcome to show 239, I think it is.
239, yeah.
239, yeah. This is the second take of this. God, I hope we get this right.
Well, I've got it right, and I've still got it if you'd like it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yes.
This
but
has big blank holes in it where you were
Yes.
talking.
that's correct. Yes, there is. We will be
People
releasing
know
it
that we
as
do
the
this? Do
Randy
people
only
know
track.
that-
What?
Yeah,
Go
do
ahead.
people know that this is how we do this? We're not in the same room. We're not even
No.
in the same county.
No.
I'm probably about at least 150 kilometers away from you.
Yeah.
Which would be 100 miles.
Yeah.
And we both record the show.
Yeah.
And then I send it to you, and you
I
slide
edit
it back
it.
and forth. Well, you
I
just
take out all
match
your
it up.
really
Yeah.
dirty jokes. I take.
You don't take them out because
You know that my swear words too. I do sometimes.
well,
kill
when
my
you say
swear words.
and things, you say it all the
Shush!
time.
Hey! I only bring that out when I'm really angry.
But it's a word. It's a word.
No, let's not press the point. Anyway, it's where's this conversation going?
Where's it been?
Well, it's a place I'm going to have to edit later. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 239. My faithful friend over here, Randall Berger, 100 miles away, and myself. And by golly, there was a whole lot of stuff happened in the last 2 weeks in America, didn't it, Randy?
It has. Yeah.
Oh my God.
330 million people bought some more guns
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
because every time there's a mass shooting,
Yes.
gun sales go up.
Yeah. I have a story.
Yeah.
We have a story on that, actually. Fox News story that you'll love. It's just specially for you.
You're actually playing a story from Fox
No,
News?
but it's hilarious. I like when the right is the subject of my terror and my amusement at all times. And it's a sick, twisted black humor. So anyway, folks, the first thing I really wanted to talk about is we had this thing. There was the storm in the Bahamas, right, Randy? You know?
Dorian.
Yeah, Dorian. Terrible storm. It was
You call him
awful.
Hurricane Dorian. We call him Cyclone
Dorian, and
Yeah.
it was Category 5, one of the strongest that we've had.
As
that's
he
ever
said,
hit.
I didn't know there was Category 5.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I've heard of Category 4, but I never heard of 5.
You all know where I'm headed, don't you? Anyway, Donnie.
Oh, is this the Hurricane by Sharpie?
Yeah, this is it. Donnie decided he wouldn't go to Poland.
You know that is against the law.
It is. Donnie decided that he didn't want to go to Poland to meet Polish people. He thought he'd hang around so he could, help out. So he hung around. He was evidently managing the storm, Randy, but that
From
fat
the golf course.
that fat ass in white only belongs to one man. Seriously, you can spot that from space.
That's my church. That's my church. I go to church. But it's an 18-hole church.
Yeah, my theory is that someone showed him a map about 2 weeks ago when, he said that it was going to reach Alabama. Let me play the clip for you.
They like me in Alabama.
They like me in Alabama.
They like me in Alabama.
So for a week, he was arguing with weathermen. It's astounding. This is the clip. This is Trump and Dorian and an adventure in coloring. Here it is.
We thought we'd give you a update.
U.S. President Donald Trump was swept into a Twitter storm on Wednesday after a press briefing in the Oval Office where he displayed a dated and altered forecast map of Hurricane Dorian's potential path.
We had actually, our original chart was that it was going to be hitting Florida directly. Maybe I could just see that, Kevin. It was going to be hitting directly, and that would have affected a lot of other states.
The map included what appeared to be a drawn-on black line around the southeast coast of Alabama, extending from the actual potential track area that was forecast.
You see, it was going to hit not only Florida, but Georgia. It could have was going toward the Gulf. That was what was originally projected.
The display comes after Trump was criticized for tweeting on Sunday that in addition to other states, Alabama would most likely be hit by Dorian. That prompted a tweet from the National Weather Service 20 minutes later saying, quote, Alabama will not see any impacts. On Wednesday, Trump was the target of criticism once again on social media. The word Sharpie began trending on Twitter, while NBC weather forecaster Al Roker pointed to U.S. law that says falsely representing a weather forecast could result in a fine or imprisonment of up to 90 days or both.
Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up.
Yeah, fuck Congress. Al Roker's going to impeach you. When you do shit,
90 days in the slammer,
when you do,
Mr. Sharpie.
when you do shit that is so bad that Al Roker is your prosecutor.
But the thing is it went on for 6 days. He wouldn't give up.
You don't understand, man. He's crazy. He's crazy, man.
But he is very popular in Alabama.
It's because
And he
they're
said,
crazy. They're all crazy.
I have to look out. I have to look out for them. I have to look out for them.
But you know what I love? You know, he's like back in the thing. I think his name was Eric. Is the guy who he has behind him? He's one of these ex-Marine crew cut douchebags, and he's sitting there with his nice little Mormon suit. You know, it's a big chance.
He asks for a halterman.
Yeah. It's a young kind of would you like to know Christ kind of guy, and he's right behind him, and you kind of figure that Eric kind of knew that things were going bad, and he says, "Give me the map," and I can hear him thinking, no, not the map. Don't do the map. Don't do. You just wrote on it. Don't do. And he picks up the map and he drops it. And I said, "Yeah, that's what you were trying to do. You're trying to throw it away from him. You know, no, give me the map, the one I had crayon writing on." No, sir, you don't want that map. Yes, that map. I made nice pictures. Look what I did to the storm.
He is Homer Simpson.
He is drawn
he is
a
Homer
dick
Simpson.
on the storm.
Yeah.
It's crazy. He drew a dick on a storm, ladies and gentlemen. It's like a dick. It's just like a little mushroom dick, like his, on the fucking storm in crayon.
And it's pointing at Alabama. Yeah, no, it's a Sharpie.
That's still a crayon. Get him some blues
it's a texta.
It's a texta.
You know?
And what kind of douchebag signs with a fucking Sharpie? I mean, Jesus Christ, you're not pricing at Kmart. Fucking hell. He does that for everything he signs. I just want to make sure everyone can see my beautiful name and signature. Fuck off.
like John Hancock. I want King George to see it without his glasses.
We are fucking doomed. He had an argument with the weather forecasting guys for 3 days, and they were told, "Hey, don't piss off President Stupid anymore." You know, hey, President Dum Dum's going to have a tantrum. Shut the fuck up. And they kept.
Look, it was supposed to hit Mar-a-Lago.
Oh my God! And you know,
did it hit Mar-a-Lago?
Yes. Did not hit Mar-a-Lago. No, we can only hope.
Oh, damn!
God has a sense of humor.
Yeah. Well, you know, the thing is if it had, he would have had it rebuilt at the expense of the American taxpayer.
Yeah, no.
Because
he would have made a profit. Trust me, I know Donnie. Yeah. He's a grifter. Yeah. He said, "Oh, great, insurance. I got that.
Life is only a paper moon.
I make money
under a cardboard sky."
Yeah, that's right, Donnie, man. That was the funniest thing I literally saw all week. You know, and then I'm sitting there looking at. Then you go back to why Dorian happened, which is climate change.
Yeah, it's climate change.
It's climate change. You know, I mean, it's like that. The DNC recently said that, you know, something, maybe climate change isn't important enough to do a debate on. What the fuck are you talking about? It's the survival of the human race. I think maybe you could sacrifice 2 hours runtime for that. You know, so anyway, Randy, I think they're going to take notice now.
I think so, and because the water is heating up in the Bahamas,
yes.
Of course, it causes cyclones, and the other major, wasn't that a character in MASH?
Catch 22, yeah.
Catch 22, yeah. Major. They are going. The Gulf Stream, that water feature that runs from the Bahamas to the coast of Norway, past Ireland and England, is getting cold and slowing down.
Yeah. So
now the Gulf Stream affects all of the weather in Scandinavia.
That's right.
And if they didn't think they weren't going to be affected by climate change, They got another think coming.
Everybody's going to be affected. And that's one of the reasons I think that, look, I did some research because I have this as a hobby. So
you do that, yeah?
I do. I read a lot, and there was
you're college educated.
I'm a college educated. I don't give degrees to just monkeys.
Yeah.
So okay, I got this from the Guardian. Even now, at 1.1 centigrade of warming, the world's climate is already entering dangerous territory. You think? According to data from the Center of Research on Epidemiology of Disasters in 2018, so far approximately 5,000 people have died and 28.9 million people required emergency or humanitarian aid because of extreme weather.
Mainly in Bangladesh, of course.
Yeah. Oh, yes, and that's what I'm getting at. Data,
because the price of underwear is going to go up.
That's right. Yes.
Buy all your underwear now. Yeah.
Yes, it's our Bangladesh storm sale. No, that's horrible. I'm sorry I said that.
I know it's true. Yeah.
So anyway, I was sitting there thinking, you know what? You know why climate change isn't a big deal in America? Then I saw this statistic. While USA, China, Japan, and India experienced the highest total loss, only one high-income territory was ranked among the top 10 in terms of annual average percentage losses relative to GDP linked to climate change. So what this means is...
Which one was it?
What this means...
Like Hawaii or something.
Well, look, that's what I'm saying, is the poor countries are getting it, and have for the last 20 years. I mean, no one gave a shit.
If you're dusky, you get it in the neck. Yeah.
No one gave a shit when China had effects of climate change and thousands died. No one gave a shit when Bangladesh. There's a drought in East Africa and Somalia, in which 6 million people are facing shortages and have caused dramatic ocean warming that could not have occurred.
That's because
without
Tom
the human
Cruise
impact
doesn't
on the
have a farm
environment.
there,
Excuse me? I'm sorry. What?
I say. It doesn't affect us because Tom Cruise doesn't have a house there.
That's right. But I'll tell you who does have houses there. Nice segue there, Randy. This is how I know they'll kind of take notice, because instead of hitting some Bangladeshi suburb, with foreigners. Wink, wink. You know what I'm talking about.
They're not foreigners. They're the Bangladeshis.
Yeah, no, they aren't
domestic.
White.
Yeah,
that's the problem. Who's on the island? Well, Nicolas Cage owns an estate residence on Paradise Island. Also, Mariah Carey owns a house in Windermere. Sean Diddy Combs has a place. Sean Connery, but I'll tell you something that's groovy about Sean Connery, is that I read a report today. He rode the storm in his house. That's fucking cool. That is Sean Connery. Fuck the storm! I'm standing here.
Fuck the storm!
No storm will ever hurt Sean Connery. Thank you.
Doesn't he live in Jamaica? No, he lives in
the Bahamas.
But who lived in Jamaica? Noel Coward.
So does David Copperfield, and won't he be surprised when his house disappears? Ha!
Yeah, because he isn't getting any more money from Charles Dickens.
No, Johnny Depp. And Johnny Depp doesn't just own a house. Johnny Depp owns a fucking island. What a wanker. What a fucking wanker.
Marlon Brando owned an island in Tahiti.
You got people like the woman who wrote Harry Potter giving all her money to charity, and fucking Johnny Depp needs a fucking island to get drunk and stoned in. Jesus fuck. I hate that shit. Speaking of which, Rick Fox, the Bahamian comedian, I don't know him. Bill Gates has a place.
Bill Gates, who lives in Seattle.
Bill Gates,
who owns Seattle,
the richest man in the world, has one of his many residents. I imagine.
Hasn't Bezos knocked him off?
Is he? I don't know.
I think so.
We should have a mud wrestling competition with those two, right?
He and Miranda keep giving it all away, just like Joanne Rowling. They give it away.
Yeah, well, Bill has a lot to fucking give away. Let's not, I don't mind Bill Gates, though. Michael Jordan, Lenny Kravitz, Joe Lewis, the British businessman. And by the way, Joe Lewis, a little info here, is a British billionaire, the 347th richest person on the Forbes list of billionaires. Cool.
That's not very good. That sounds like our rating on iTunes.
It gets a few good draft picks. Might happen. Terry Manning, the record producer of Compass Point Studios, Tim McGraw, Shakira Mubarak, and Eddie Murphy. I like you, Shrek. You got layers.
Yeah. We're just you two guys made a bet. Pork bellies.
Oh, fuck.
Frozen concentrated orange juice.
Okay. Well, listen. God bless. I don't wish any of these people to have damage, but maybe if you could tell your other rich friends that climate change exists and put some of that money out of your island, Johnny. Your fucking island, really?
I thought he lived in France.
Really? I saw Lone Ranger. No. Why can't you be like, you don't see Anthony Hopkins running off and buying a fucking island? Because he's not a douchebag.
He owns an island off Wales. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's my story on them, and hopefully
your rant on the Bahamas.
That's my rant on the Bahamas. I did, however, get some more amusement. Yes, and I have clips. Joe Biden.
Creepy Joe Biden.
He's not creepy.
Grab him by the titties.
No, that's not Joe. Stop that. It's
Who
awful.
Is it?
It's Joe Biden, our lovable kind of half senile grandpa.
Our
bought-off grandpa.
Which half? Which half?
So let me just.
What's there not to like about Vermont?
I love Bernie. And if Joe stood for something other than what I just heard him say at this this climate change thing, I've always, I've never hated Joe Biden. I don't hate him. I
hate him now because of what he just said.
What he said here at this town hall forum was just douchebaggery. Here it is. This is Joe Biden at the town hall forum. This is the week that a Category 5 hurricane levels the Bahamas, and Joe Biden's at a climate change debate, and he gets pulled up by someone in the audience.
Yeah,
he gets tripped by a member of the public. Who preps you? What the fuck is coming out of your mouth? And B, I cannot believe you tried to snow this. Here's Joe Biden at the at the town hall on climate change just after climate change claimed the Bahamas. Here it is.
How can we trust you to hold these corporations and executives accountable for their crimes against humanity when we know that tomorrow you are holding a high-dollar fundraiser hosted by Andrew Goldman, a fossil fuel executive?
He is not a fossil fuel executive. He is not a fossil fuel executive. And the fact of the matter is that what we talk about is what are we going to do about those corporations? What have we done? And everywhere along the way, for example, I've argued and pushed for us suing those executives who are engaged in pollution.
What Andrew is saying is, if you're going to a fundraiser that's given in part by this guy who has a company that is pulling up natural gas, are you the right guy to go after these?
Well, I didn't realize he does that. I was told if you look at the SEC filings, he's not listed as one of those executives. That's what we look at, the SEC filings. Who are those executives? I've kept that pledge, period.
So are you going to look at that fundraiser tomorrow night?
I'm going to look at what you just told me and find out if that's accurate, yes.
Okay. I think it's pretty accurate.
And guess what? He went to the fundraiser anyway. Yay!
Oops.
Kids, get in here.
Oops.
Get in here. Can we have the Hypocrisy Cheer Squad?
Yeah. And you know what? I really don't like him now because I just saw your post that he refuses to ban fracking.
Yeah. And didn't you know? Because, listen, this is the fate of the world.
Yeah.
You think this guy is going to go against the fossil fuel industry? No. He's going to do exactly what he did on national television. He's going to fold and go anyway. That's exactly what he's going to do. Because Joe Biden is a get-along boy. He is. Everyone likes him. Everyone likes Joe. Good old Joe. You don't get to be good old Joe in Washington that long without making some pretty powerful friends. You don't need someone like Joe Biden putting the hard word on the fossil fuel industry to stop polluting the planet. We only have 12 to 15 years, by the way.
Yeah.
So putting him in charge, I mean, yeah.
Before it's irreversible.
Look, if it's Trump or Biden, of course I'll vote for Biden, but we're not even that yet. This guy is doing everything he's telling you. He's not, first of all, he's not good enough. Mm-hmm. You're taking a chance. Would he win? Maybe. But why would you go for maybe when you're actually nominating somebody that will guarantee in 12 years that we have a fucking environmental crisis? We have one now.
Yeah.
We're just hoping it doesn't get so fucking off the wall worse that it's the end of fucking humanity. That's how bad it is.
That's true. That's true. Yes.
You know, I read a thing by Frazen in the New Yorker. This guy, I read one of his books called The Corrections. And he wrote this thing, very persuasive essay that says, "Hey, fuck, it's too late, guys. All we can do is moderate it now. We're headed for a world of shit. And what we're doing right now, if we turn around, is trying to moderate the amount of damage. We're in it now. So you want Joe Biden being the guy championing saving the planet?
He won't ban fracking, and that's one of the most damaging forms of.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, Hillary was all fracking, but you just can't do it. You're going to poison your water supply. Nuclear. Look, if we had started on solar energy and fucking wind energy back when Carter put fucking solar panels on the White House, we'd be fucking there now.
Yeah.
Who killed the electric car? That fucking industry has been lying to the American people about.
But that was George Bush. That was George Bush.
No, it's gone past longer than that. They've known for about 20 years that this was happening. They have known about it, and they went about to subvert the truth. They didn't just sit there and say nothing. They went out and lied to people that wasn't a problem. They bought universities. They bought special interest think tanks. They bought politicians with all their fucking money to lie about something that endangers the fucking world.
Yes, but who killed the electric car? In the mid-'90s, California passed a law saying that by a certain date, 10% of all vehicles in California will have to be zero emission, which means either electric or hydrogen. And lo and behold, General Motors brought out the EV1. All of the charging infrastructure, all of it was great. And then George Bush was elected. Arnold Schwarzenegger was in the California governorship, and George Bush was elected. And lo and behold, they crushed every one of those cars.
Really?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Watch the movie, Who Killed the Electric Car? And then watch The Revenge of the Electric Car, which is when Elon Musk brought it back.
Yeah, I mean, greed is going to kill us.
Yeah.
If it hasn't already. On that bright note, listen, I wanted to hop to something that I also saw. This is a pet peeve, and I guess it's my turn to kind of wail.
Do you have a pet peeve?
Every 2 weeks.
Is it licensed?
Every 2 weeks.
Is it licensed with the local council?
Yes, it is.
Have you had it fixed?
Come here.
Have you had it fixed?
No, I've had my peeve fixed.
Yeah.
And if you've ever had your peeve fixed, you know how painful that can be.
Well,
thank you.
Mine was fixed when I was just like a few days old. So
thank you.
All right. Oh, I just gave myself the twinge.
We're devolving into the Johnny Carson show.
No, we're not. That's not even the Carson show. That's just really disgusting.
Okay, so listen, I was sitting there watching Morning Joe, or as I affectionately call it, Morning Blow.
Yeah.
And Meeker and
Meeker Zabrinsky
Meeker Brzezinski, and boy, that woman buys shoes, you know.
Yeah, but you never see them because they're under the fucking table. How do you ever see them?
And Joe Scarborough, what's going on with the hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's like if a hurricane hit it, there'd be nothing left, just the hair. Joe Scarborough and Meeker Brzezinski invited Jim Mad Dog Mattis.
Oh, the Mad Dog.
So the Mad Dog, he left the administration. He quit. And he won't come out and say anything critical about Trump.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a clip in which, now this just burns me. It just burns the shit out of me. So this is General Mattis responding as to why he can't say anything about the functional, psychologically damaged dum-dum man in the White House. This is what he said. This was his rationale for not speaking out against a 3-year-old with nukes. This is it. I love this pontificating bullshit. Here it is.
You know, Mika, I left the administration under policy disagreement. I put it in a letter. The president and I had our usual straightforward discussion. The discussion was open between us. And I disagree with this idea that you can leave office and immediately become a critic. And I do not want to sit in what I now consider to be my cheap seat, right, and without full information. And like you said, we don't know what the projects are. I can't really calculate this. My concern is the breakdown of trust.
Trust? You think the biggest problem right now is trust? What the fuck are you talking about? Listen, listen. By the way, this is what, according to Bob Woodward, this is what Jim Mattis said about, President Banana Head. Okay, this is what he said before he resigned because the whole place was a fucking hootenanny.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what he said. President Trump so alarmed his Secretary of Defense, this is from September 10th, 2018, Jim Mattis, that during a discussion last January of the nuclear standoff with North Korea, remember that one?
Yeah.
That an exasperated Mr. Mattis told his colleagues the president acted like and had the understanding of a 5th or 6th grader.
Yeah.
So you had a nuclear crisis with somebody that you considered to have the brain power of a 5th or 6th grader, and you think the problem that we're dealing with now is the trust?
When I was in the 6th grade, I was pretty good.
You were better. I'm sure you were better.
I campaigned for Nelson Rockefeller.
I'm sure you did. At another moment, no, there's more. There's more from Woodward's book. At another moment, Mr. Trump's aides became so worried about his judgment that Gary D. Cohn, then the chief economic advisor, took a letter from the president's Oval Office desk authorizing the withdrawal of United States from a trade agreement with South Korea. Mr. Trump, who had planned to sign the letter, never realized it was missing. Oops. Was I doing it? Nothing, sir. You were doing absolutely nothing. Nothing. Look into my eyes, sir.
Thank you, Smithers. Yeah.
Well, follow the shiny object. Some of the freshest details in the book involve Mr. Mattis, a retired Marine Corps general who has been viewed as an anchor in Mr. Trump's cabinet. Mr. Woodward portrays
boat anchor. Yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing.
Yeah, no. Mr. Woodward portrays Mr. Mattis as frequently derisive of the commander-in-chief, rattled by his judgment, and willing to slow-walk orders from him that he viewed as reckless. In the North Korea meeting, during a period of high tension with the country's leader, Kim Jong-un, Mr. Trump questioned Mr. Mattis about why the United States keeps a military presence in the Korean Peninsula. Oh, Christ.
You know why? Why?
No, let me explain why. Because this is what Mattis said to the 5th grader in charge. We're doing this in order to prevent World War III, because you know that we have listening posts here. They have nukes. The only way we can see the nukes is if we have listening posts here. You dumb fuck. I'm sorry.
Did he say dumb fuck?
Dumb fuck. Now,
did he say that?
Yep. No, he didn't say that.
Oh,
I think he said dumb fuck, sir.
Yeah.
April 2017, after President Bashir Assad, we talked about this, of Syria launched a chemical attack on his own people, Mr. Trump called Mr. Mattis and told him that he wanted the United States to assassinate Mr. Assad. Let's go in, the president said. I think he did it like Rocky or Balboa. Let's go in. Yeah. The defense secretary hung up and told one of his aides, yeah, we're not going to do that.
Mad Dog Mattis. He hates that. He hates that.
We're not good. Well, okay, listen. What my point is, this is the waffle that James Mattis went on with. I want you to listen to this, and where he ends it is probably the most offensive thing in the world, because evidently, Randy, the problem isn't Trump; it's just all of us. Why can't we all just get along? You know, because it's really both sides of politics that are just as bad. Here we go. Buckle up. Listen to some 4th of July bullshit. And by the way, during this whole thing, they are massaging Mattis red, white, blue. I've never seen such a red, white, and blue clusterfuck in my life. It was like everybody sitting there going, well, you're just like George Marshall. You're like Patton. You're like MacArthur. It's terrible. I think Mike Barnacle came on him.
Yeah.
I think he actually ejaculated in his face because he was just jacking him off. Anyway, this is in the midst of all that physical proclivity of red, white, and blue jacking off. Here's Mad Dog Mattis on the Bill Show.
I think, too, this goes back several administrations. This didn't start overnight. This isn't about one man. And the solution's not going to be about one person speaking out. It's going to be about the majority of Americans saying that's enough. We owe better to the next generation than what we're doing right now. But we grew up in the luckiest generation, all of us at this table, the greatest generation raised us. We are not turning that over to the next generation. Right. And he said the defense of the country is a nonpartisan issue, basically. Right. He said politics ends at the water's edge. What is the institution that is most admired and the American public has the most confidence in polls year after year? It's the military. Why is that? Because we're apolitical. We stay out of the politics. We defend the experiment that you and I call America. But I think, too, we have to look at this as a test of everyone's character in America. Again, I don't think that we have a problem today that suddenly mushroomed into our observation and what we're seeing here in the last 6 months, last 2 years, or last 5 years. I think this is a growing problem inside America. We've lost a fundamental friendliness with one another. We've lost a sense of fairness. We really believe, in some cases, there are people who believe I'm right about everything and that guy's wrong about everything. And if we don't wake up to the idea that the people we disagree with are fellow Americans, if we don't understand that once in a while the people we disagree with are actually right, and if we don't roll up our sleeves and start working together, then we're going to have a problem in this experiment, because this was set up so it would not work without cooperation, collaboration, and compromise. It was set up that way. So we're going to have to address this in less personal terms than whether or not we agree with a condemnation of any single political leader, because I'm sure I can find a letter just as damning about people on the left.
Say what, Willis? What? Yeah. There's something equal on the left? What?
Look,
what
compassion.
What are you saying? I don't recall Obama.
Compromise and what kind of lingus?
What does that mean?
I couldn't think of another C word.
Yeah, that's about it, man. Hey, Jen. Hey, Mad Dog. When was the last time you saw Obama with crayons? When was that? When did you last see that? This is a guy you said had the brains of a 5th or 6th grader, and you had to explain to why we had people in the fucking Korean Peninsula. You had to explain that to him. You had to explain that to him. And now you're on Morning Joe selling a fucking book, getting jacked off by Mike Barnacle. And then you have the nerve for a man who doesn't have the fucking guts or patriotism to stand up to what is a clear and present danger to this country. You selling a book, get in there and have the fucking audacity to say it's really just the character of the country and the left is just as bad. Hey, Big Jim Mattis, go fuck yourself. You are shit. You are a heap of red, white, and blue cum-stained shit. I said it. I cannot believe it makes me crazy. Sorry, I'm going to bleep that out. I just
no, don't, because I want to buy the book. I want to buy the book now. I want to buy the book and read the red, white, and blue cum stains on the.
Torment me, man. I just turned to Morning Joe because I have to. I have to turn to it. I have to go on YouTube.
You don't have to.
No, I do because I comment on it.
You have a fetish for Monica. For
Mika Brzezinski.
Mika, yeah.
Are you kidding me?
You used to love her. You used to like her father.
One of the fucking Stepford wives. What the fuck would I have a thing for Mika Brzezinski?
You used to like her father, Big
New Brzezinski. Oh, by the way, Big New Brzezinski was the brilliant fucker in the Carter administration who thought it'd be a really great idea to arm the Taliban.
Look.
Yeah, that's why we hear this red, white, and blue shit every time they talk about his father. The father was a dopehead who gave guns to fucking crazy people who later on destroyed us in 9/11. That's
okay. But the thing is there was never a shot fired in anger by the United States.
No, there wasn't. But we put guns in other people's hands and they shot. But
no,
yes, that's true. I know I love Jimmy Carter, but that's true.
That was because of the Russians. That was because of the Russians in
Afghanistan.
Anyway,
listen, before I sign off, I decided I got...
No, don't sign off.
I got very mad with Mad Dog, as you can tell, with my graphic picture.
He doesn't like that name.
No, man, good. Like Mad Dog. Hope you love it. You know why he got the name Mad Dog? I thought I'd do some investigation over here.
Because he has rabies.
No, it's rather interesting. Listen, who is Mad Dog Mattis, Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense and Iraq War veteran? Well, I thought I'd check it out here. And all you need to know is that James Mad Dog is the Secretary of Defense, a retired Marine Corps general who earned his tough reputation during the grueling wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. His nomination for a high-ranking role in the president's administration was confirmed by the Senate. Who the hell is this guy? He's a 66-year-old seasoned commander who served the armed forces 44 years ago, for 44 years, leading troops into Afghanistan and Iraq. They call him Mad Dog because he earned his nickname after the bloody Battle of Fallujah, which was one of the hardest-fought campaigns throughout the entire war.
Yeah.
Yes, Fallujah, ladies and gentlemen. What can we tell you about Fallujah? Okay. General Mattis earned his nickname. In the Iraq invasion 2003. I'll go on with this. He was one of the 4 commanders leading U.S. British troops to take back the city from Iraqi insurgents after the fall of Saddam Hussein. But he has courted controversy with several off-the-cuff remarks appearing to trivialize war and death. Oh, really? In a 2005 panel discussion he had in San Diego, he came out with the idea, hey, it's fun to shoot people. He has also been quoted joking that the girlfriends of war protesters think their partners are pussies. Mattis never married. Yeah, because wouldn't you love to wake up to that every day? Mattis was appointed head of the UN Joint Command, NATO's supreme thing. But what happened in Fallujah was absolutely amazing. Fallujah, he got his name Mad Dog. And that's because of what he did in Fallujah. This is Marjorie Cohen, a professor emeritus at Thomas Jefferson School of Law, where she taught from 1991 to 2016 from Truth Out. In November 2004, NBC correspondent Kevin Seitz, embedded with the U.S. Marines, heard Staff Sergeant Sam Mortimer radio that everything to the west is weapons-free. Weapons-free, explains Seitz, means that the Marines can shoot whatever they see. It's all considered hostile. The rule of engagement came from the top, from Mattis, who is in charge. Collective punishment against an occupied population constitutes a violation of the Fourth Geneva Convention. Yet, according to the Study Center of Human Rights and Democracy, the U.S. attack on Fallujah in November 4, and wait for it, killed between 4,000 and 6,000 civilians. You know what weapons-free means? Shoot anything that moves.
Except each
other. Targeting civilians is a war crime. Well, yeah. For further information on additional war crimes committed by U.S. under Mattis, we can go to white phosphorus. Yes. Mattis, who is in command in Fallujah, He used white phosphorus in the attack on Fallujah. The U.S. military used white phosphorus, an incendiary weapon similar to napalm in its ability to burn all the way down to the bone. That means that if you get it on you, you can put it in water and it still burns you. That's what they used on Fallujah by Mattis's instruction. Way to go, Mad Dog. You want to really make sure you make a point with those civilians, don't you? Right?
He doesn't like that nickname, Bill. Now, show some respect. Yeah.
Given that it was unleashed in a city during a time when the Pentagon itself admitted at least 50,000 civilians were present. In November 2005, Marines in Iraq committed a massacre of 24 unarmed Iraqi civilians. The slaughtering of unarmed men, women, and children and elderly people shot multiple times at close range was retribution for a roadside bomb attack on a convoy of Marines. The war crimes were extremely well documented, and the atrocity garnered international attention. When it came time to bring the Marines responsible for the massacre to justice, Mattis was convening authority over the 8 charged with crimes in Haditha. Mattis went on to dismiss all charges leveled against the Marines who had been accused of killing the civilians, and of the 8 originally charged, only 1 still faces possible prosecution. But that's not all, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's Lieutenant Calley,
There's more.
it?
Oh, yeah. There's more. You know what they have a lot of around Fallujah these days? Cancer.
Ruins.
Yeah. General Mad Dog Mattis is one of the guys that likes to leave a going-away gift. And that gift is cancer, ladies and gentlemen. U.S. Marines, this is from the Independent, July 2010. U.S. Marines first besieged and bombarded Fallujah 30 miles west of Baghdad in April 2004. After 4 employees of the American security company Blackwater were killed and their bodies burned because they were pissing off the natives by treating them like shit. Just that. After an 8-month standoff, the Marines stormed the city in November using artillery and aerial bombing. They later admitted they used white phosphorus as well as other munitions. The other munitions they used were uranium-tipped artillery.
Yeah, spent uranium.
Uranium-tipped artillery.
Spent uranium.
Thank you very much.
It's just that it's very, very, very dense.
It is very, very,
very
dense.
heavy.
It's very heavy, and it will go through anything.
Yeah.
When research,
but I don't think it's radioactive anymore.
Now there was yes, it is. The survey, they did a survey of cancers in this area. The survey was carried out by a team of 11 researchers in January and February of 2010, and they visited 711 houses in Fallujah. A questionnaire filled by householders giving details of cancers, birth outcomes, and infant mortality. Hitherto, the Iraqi government has been loath to respond to complaints from civilians about damage to their health during military operations. I mean, other than just killing them. Researchers were initially regarded with some suspicion by the locals, particularly after a Baghdad television station broadcast a report saying a survey was being carried out by terrorists, and anybody conducting it or answering questions would be arrested. I guess they didn't want anyone to know, huh? Those organizing the survey subsequently arranged to be accompanied by a person of standing in the community. Dr. Busby Malik Hamdan and Estizar Arabi concluded with anecdotal evidence a sharp rise in cancer and congenital birth defects is correct. Infant mortality was found to be 80 per 1,000 births compared to 19 in Egypt, 17 in Jordan, and 9.7 in Kuwait. The report says that types of cancer are similar to that in the Hiroshima survivors who were exposed to ionized radiation from the bomb and uranium in the fallout. Could I have a big cheer for Mad Dog Mattis? Not only are you a vicious son of a bitch, you're also a coward. Kids, get in here.
No, they don't want to come.
No, they don't want to come. That just... There's no way to make...
Just angry.
You know
They're
what?
angry
There's
with
no
you.
way to fucking make light of this.
Well, they know depleted uranium is not radioactive.
Well, the uranium tipped... well, you explain those. You explain it.
They used depleted uranium. It's 40% less radioactive than even natural uranium in the ground.
Okay. Well, listen,
it's completely depleted, but it is twice as heavy as lead.
Yes, I'm familiar with that.
It's very suitable.
Listen,
it's very suitable as tank busters because
all right. If you give them the uranium, let's say it's just maybe it wasn't uranium that did it, even though if you look at the stats, it's fucking undeniable we did something there.
Oh, yes. No. It's like Agent Orange. I mean, there's something that went on. But
who goes into a civilian population of 50,000 people and says to their guys, shoot anything on sight?
Yeah,
who goes into a place like that and uses white phosphorus?
They used to do it in
white
Vietnam.
phosphorus in a city of 50,000 men, women, and children. Who the fuck does that? Just curious about that. A guy with no regard for human life. Seriously, none.
Lieutenant Calley.
Yeah. But this guy gets to go on Morning Joe.
I don't think any of our listeners are old enough to remember
Lieutenant William Calley. Yeah.
Are any of our listeners old enough?
I hope so. Hi guys, are you old enough to know about that?
I was only 15.
William Calley was convicted of mass murder in Vietnam, but further investigations show that Calley was probably the guy that had to pay the price.
He was a fall guy.
He was a fall guy, But anyway, listen, my argument in this thing is Mattis. And
Mattis is a C-bomb.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry.
Don't say the word.
I'm not going to say
it. Yeah.
Because God knows I wouldn't want to be dirty. Listen, we're going to be back in just a... Stop it. Okay, we're going to be back in just a moment. Randy's going to have his rant. And you got some comedy for us, Randy?
Oh, I've got some hilarious comedy. I've got this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stand-up guy. Which you liked the first time.
Yeah, the first time we did this.
His name is Steve Hofstetter.
Yeah, okay.
He's a stand-up comedian. Right. This is actually a stand-up routine he did in Indiana, and he solves gun control in 3 minutes.
Okay.
He's been to Australia twice.
Well, I'm going to go see him when he's in town. And what else?
Yeah, and I've also got the very latest Randy Rainbow.
Fabulous.
Which is Cheeto Christ Stupid Czar. Which, of course, is Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice's Jesus Christ Superstar.
Randy Rainbow.
About, our friend Randy Stewart Rainbow. It's his real name.
Okay.
And then we'll be back.
And we'll be back in just one moment, guys, for the rest of 2, 3, 9.
And I say to you, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And spiders, little hairy ones with those legs. And my mother-in-law's enormous. But I'll tell you what Eleanor and I do like. We like the Bill Show with Bill and Randy. Yes, we laugh, we cry, and we're kind of glad we're dead. So if you want to support The Bill Show, please go to thebillshow.net. Everything Bill Show in one place. And you can just press the patron button. And you can give them money so they can buy microphones and beer. Come along, Eleanor.
Now for the gun owners in the crowd, and this is Indiana, so away we go. For the gun owners in the crowd, I have a point to make. No one's coming for your guns. You sound dumb when you speak like that. They're taking our guns. No. No one's taking your... We want you to register your guns like you register anything potentially dangerous. You register your car with no issue. When you're at the DMV, you're like, they're taking our cars. What did you just say? Yeah, first we get driver's licenses, and next thing you know, we're walking everywhere. It's a slippery slope. No, sometimes it's flat land, and I'm that there are gun owners in this crowd right now who are getting uncomfortable. You're getting upset about this material. But every single gun owner here knows someone who owns a gun that you wish didn't. Every last one of you has been to the firing range and been like, Brad's here? We're all going to fucking die. Every single one of you. That's who I don't want to have a gun. Now you might say, well, it doesn't matter what you want because of the amendment. Second Amendment protects them as a right and not a privilege. And I'll give you that. I'll give you the Second Amendment. Defend the Second Amendment with all of your heart. If you also defend every other amendment or know what they say. Amendment people are hilarious. Freedom of speech, right to bear arms. I'm tired. Like what? About the rest? There are so many. Like the Seventh Amendment. No one ever cares about the Seventh Amendment. Why doesn't anyone ever defend the Seventh Amendment? None of you even know what it says. Some of you are trying to think of it right now. You're like, is it plead the Fifth? No, that's the Fifth Amendment. The Seventh. The Seventh Amendment says that every civil matter involving more than $20 can go to full jury trial. Or maybe it doesn't. You don't fucking know. My point is, either amendments are sacred or they're not. It's as simple as that. And if you're someone who feels you need to own a gun because you want to protect yourself from your neighbor, okay, I support that. I do. I think that the Second Amendment is important. I think that a person who is educated and responsible and regulated should be allowed to own a gun. However, if you need a gun because you're afraid of the government, you don't know how tanks work.
Gentlemen, it's time to keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle at all times because it's time once again for Randy's Rant.
Randy!
Let's all gather round. And I'm shaking my...
Don't shake those
my
things,
moobs.
man.
I'm shaking my moobs with my tassels.
You're
going
shaking...
in concentric, sir.
You're shaking your man boobs, aren't you? Aren't you
my
doing
moobs,
that?
Yeah,
are you doing
my
that?
moobs.
God damn.
Yeah, I am. And they go in different circles.
There are people who are...
That's hard to do.
There are people who are eating out there. Val might be eating now. Do you really want to put that in her head?
In Glen Falls, what would she eat? Poutine?
Oh, don't insult... Look, listen, you insult everybody. You insult all of our friends.
But that cheese with gravy and curds is Canadian. But that's... I'm thinking, what would they eat in Glen Falls, New York?
You know, if I wasn't talking to you over a podcast, you'd be sitting next to me on a park bench wearing a raincoat. You know that, don't you?
No, I would not wear a raincoat. We would just be a couple of mensch on a bench.
We'd be two old Jewish guys. I'm sicker than you are.
But neither of us are Jews. That's the terrible thing.
You know, we all turn into Jews. We all turn into old Jews, no matter what religion, color.
No matter what.
No, we all turn into old Jews. Seriously, I went to a nursing home recently.
Like a fiddler on the roof. You're trying to scratch out a pleasant, simple tune without breaking your neck.
Yeah, but here's the
it isn't easy.
Here's the thing, all you good-looking people out there, all you 20-somethings, you know, with your fucking Instagram and shit, taking pictures.
Take advantage of it now.
Yeah. Take pictures of your food.
Fuck everything that moves.
Yeah, that's it.
Because it's going to stop working.
It's going to stop working, and you'll end up looking like Bernie Sanders. Because we're all going to end up old Jewish guys. One day,
tradition.
One day you'll be a half growth of beard, walking down the street, sexy as hell. The next moment, fucking Bernie Sanders. You'll be just sitting there going, "Why is this soup cold?" That's what you'll be doing, and no one will want you.
What's this fly doing in my soup? What's this fly doing in my soup? It's the backstrap.
The backstrap. Thank you very much, Randy. You got a rant for us?
I do. I like last show, 238.
Yeah.
I decided there were just so many fucking ridiculous things going on in the world. I wasn't going to rant about one of them. I was going to rant about all of them.
Hey, Randy, language.
What? What did I say? Fuck?
Language.
All right. I was just going to rant about all these frigging.
Yeah.
But frigging is worse than fucking.
Okay. Let's not dwell on it.
Okay. Now.
Okay, go ahead.
So I've got a half dozen great little bits, and we're going to talk about all of them, you and I.
Okay.
And it's sort of like a group
wallow,
hug. A wallow.
Yeah, a group wallow. Okay, yeah.
Okay, number one.
Yeah, number one.
This sounds like your friend
Dave.
Letterman.
Number one.
Number one. Okay.
Number one.
The commissioners of San Francisco, the 11 commissioners that run the city of San Francisco, have passed a resolution declaring the National Rifle Association to be a domestic terrorist organization.
Well, they are.
Well, yeah, but this is now in like some sort of statute.
Does it mean anything? Does it mean anything?
Well, I think people are, as I said, look, we know they're a domestic terrorist organization.
Yeah, we know that.
But like ISIS, they take money from foreign gun manufacturers, mainly Swiss and Belgian and what have you. And
Russian.
American ones.
A lot of Russians.
Yeah, and Russian, yeah.
And
Mr.
they give it to Mitch
yeah.
McConnell.
And they give it to Mitch McConnell, or to Moscow Mitch.
Moscow Mitch.
And a few other politicians.
Yeah, a few other.
And I think that is terrorism.
It is.
They fund domestic terrorism.
Can we give the people, the San Francisco guys, the council there, a big cheer? So get the kids, get out here.
The poor kids are in and out.
Get well. It's San Francisco. Come on out. There you go.
Oh, you're talking about the old San Francisco.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you're quick.
Boom, boom.
Okay, thank you, kids.
Hey, I went to Haight-Ashbury. I know.
Yeah, you know everything. What's your second thing?
Okay, number two.
Yeah.
Twitter. You know Twitter?
Yes,
I think the organ of the U.S. president.
Yeah.
The one that's not a mushroom.
Yeah.
Twitter has decided that it cannot auto-ban neo-Nazis because the filters to catch them may inadvertently catch GOP politicians. Because because the words and phrases, all of that sort of stuff,
Is that true?
It's dead set true.
Oh my God!
They cannot set up an automatic filter to catch neo-Nazis because it would inadvertently catch GOP
Maybe
politicians.
Hitler's actually alive somewhere in New York going, they think I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
Eva, we're off the hook. Seriously, man.
Now,
Jesus.
our friend creepy Joe Biden.
No, he's not creepy. He's like your granddad.
Yeah.
If your granddad was creepy.
Yeah, grab you by the titties.
Stop saying that.
Wicked Uncle Joe.
Yeah, okay.
Is he losing his marbles, or are there any marbles left? Because he stood there in front of a flock of reporters in New Hampshire and in New Bedford and said, "What isn't there to like about Vermont?"
Oh, God. Seriously, man. And that
nobody corrected him.
Don't say anything. Seriously, that was before the climate change conference. He came from that gaffe to another gaffe. I swear to God, there are staff members on his staff right now that are drinking so much. They are mainlining tranks.
Biden has been gaffe prone since 2008 when he last ran for president.
He should have a care dog. He really should.
Yeah.
He should just have seriously. A clone of some sort. And then his eyeball exploded. Did you see that? His eyeball exploded. I felt sorry for him. I was angry with him, and then I felt sorry for him. I was, oh my God, Granddad's eye has gone blue, red.
Well, somebody walked by with an old bullet bra on.
Yeah,
so
these are the same.
They got excited.
And the people that are for Biden are the same people that say Bernie Sanders is too old.
And they're the same age.
Seriously, the same fucking people saying, "Oh no, Bernie's just too old." Bernie could beat the shit out of anyone out there.
Okay, talk about Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Talking about Bernie Sanders.
Okay.
Okay. Bernie Sanders released his climate plan last week.
Yep.
And it was so effective that David Koch dropped dead.
By the way, yeah, now that you mention it, this is horrible. I feel terrible. But kids, get in here.
David Koch dropped.
Kids, get in
David
here.
Koch.
That's right.
David Koch dropped dead. But his most famous quote, David's most famous quote was, "There would not be a Democratic president elected over my dead body."
Well,
so Bernie thankfully has fixed
yeah,
that
I guess so.
voice,
I guess
hasn't he?
so.
Yeah.
I don't know. David Koch. I remember they started cheering at a Bernie demonstration, and of course Sanders went. You know, yeah, we don't want to do that.
Come on, be a bit respectful.
Yeah, we gotta keep it respectful.
Now cheer.
I'm out of the room. Go ahead. Really, seriously. I'm surprised that the entire crowd didn't launch into "Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead."
No, that's what they did about Phyllis Schlafly.
Yeah. Again, somebody that no one else knows but us. What's your next thing?
Yeah. Now my best and last.
Tell me, Randy.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Just before he was elected president.
Yes.
In 31st of August, 2016. A month, 2 months before the election. He went on a private tour of the newly created Museum of African American History. Mm-hmm. Now, this would be like the Holocaust Museum of African Americans. This is 600 years of slavery, genocide, just horrible things.
Yeah.
Now, his retinue said to the guy who was doing the tour, who was actually the curator and creator of the museum, they said, "Please, don't show him anything confronting." And this guy has only just released a book. So 3 or 4 years later, he's released a book on the creation of this museum. And these anecdotes are in this book.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I tried not to show anything confronting, but just about everything in this museum
is confronting.
Yeah. So when he went into
it's like going to a Holocaust museum and going.
And of course, Trump does the furrowed brow nod, pursed lips thing very well. You know.
Yeah.
Probably doesn't hear a thing, but he does the pursed lips nod. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah. Anyway, they go into this one hall which shows the Dutch slaving ships.
Oh, it's a big ship.
Which would take the slaves from Cote d'Ivoire to the West Indies, and then up to Boston and things to
triangle
offload
trade.
Them. Yeah, triangle
molasses
trade.
to rum to slaves.
And he's looking at this stuff.
Yeah.
The Dutch duplicity in the slave trade of Black Americans.
Yeah.
And he turned to this guy, the creator, and said, "They really like me in the Netherlands."
Jesus fuck. Oh man, when does this end? When does this end? Listen, I just took off.
Be his
no,
answer.
listen, Randy, I just took off on grumpy Joe Biden. I'd vote for Biden with a fucking smile on my face. I really will. I swear to God, this has got to end. It's like a fucking Twilight Zone episode that never fucking ends. It never fucking ends. Make it end, Randy. Make it fucking end.
But Joe Biden, with his latest "I will not ban fracking,"
you know something? I would vote for a lawn chair. Seriously. Yes, a lawn chair. Find me a lawn chair. I'll vote for it. God knows we could do worse. At least it won't fuck up.
Anything better than Mr. Trump. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my rolling rant.
That's your rolling rant. Now you had something that you brought along that you were interested in sharing.
I would really love to share this. You know how much this show loves Randy Rainbow.
Yeah.
My namesake, of course.
Yes.
He's not named after me, but we share the same name, Randy.
Yeah.
He's Randy Stewart Rainbow. It actually really is his name.
Wow.
His father is Gary Rainbow. and obviously a hippie that just couldn't shake it. But anyway, young Randy Rainbow was recently profiled, in a good way, by CNN.
I love him. I love this guy.
Yeah. So he was profiled by CNN, and I've taken the soundtrack, of course, but you should watch the video on YouTube.
The video's on YouTube
still,
if it's still on YouTube.
But this has got a lot of the clips that we all know, the Cell Block Tango.
Oh, wow.
And things like that we know and love of Randy Rainbow. But he's only been doing this for about 4 years.
Well, I mean, he's
or less.
He's a Broadway boy, man. He's a Broadway boy. I used to actually when I was up doing summer stock back when the world was young and I was acting.
With the horseless carriages.
Back in those days where we did Our Town a lot.
Put in your store-bought teeth. I can't understand the word you're saying.
Turn it up. Okay, so I'd meet these guys who were just musical comedy nuts, and I became a thing for musicals. I love musicals. I am the gayest straight person in the world. Really, it's so true.
Yeah,
so true.
Yeah.
My son's a drag queen. Seriously, he is. He's the best drag queen in Melbourne.
Lazy Susan is more than a drag queen.
There was repressed gay in me, and then when he came out, it was like Ethel Merman going, "Hello, everybody! We're gonna put on a show."
But you did summer stock.
Yes,
with
Laura Linney.
Gerard Alessandrini,
and
who I worship.
Gerard Alessandrini, for you guys who don't know, is one of the longest playing musical, I think, in off Broadway is a thing called Forbidden Broadway, and it's been going for about 20 years. And the year before it broke, I was at Keene Summer Music Theater, and he played Curly in our production of Oklahoma. And I was a farmer. I was just.
Well, you and the cowman should be friends.
Yeah, I was a farmer, and all that Judd is terrible, isn't he? I was doing all that shit.
Poor Judd is dead.
I was doing farmer acting, kind of like with overalls, Bag Nabbit, how are you there, kid? Yeah, I was doing that.
What you with a piece of hayseed in your mouth?
Yeah, with an actual. Yes, I did.
Walter Brennan, you were doing Walter Brennan accent.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, that Judd went over there. Seriously, I got paid for it too. It's cool. So anyway, I'm there with Gerard Alessandrini, and he's working on the script for Forbidden Broadway, and
it is brilliant.
It's
brilliant.
amazing.
And all of the bits are on YouTube. All of the bits are on CD.
Yeah. So it's like all these musicals with changed lyrics, and that's what Randy Rainbow does. And he's the same type of guy. He is a mega talent.
But he does it specifically, politically.
Oh, absolutely.
And
sing, dance, act. He's one of those guys.
Triple threat,
baby. Let's listen to this.
Okay, play the clip. Yeah. Play the clip, Bill.
Here it is, Randy Rainbow interviewed on CNN.
There is only one human named Randy Rainbow, and his popularity is fueled by millions of clicks. This is his story.
Trump 6. Mueller. Trump 6. Mueller. They had it coming. They had it coming. They were the best that he could find.
So, Randy Rainbow.
Yes.
What would you say you do for a living? What's your job description?
Oh God, you sound like my mother. I'm a comedian and a commentator and a satirist, I suppose.
Just be best, just be best. Just forget those you oppressed. Blame your spurs, use ethnic slurs, then just defer to Kanye West.
A satirist.
And an internet sensation and a musical theater star. And, the list goes on. We don't have all day.
That about sums it up. Almost. You might just need to add Emmy-nominated, national touring, A-level lyrical writing, all-around force of nature. In case your internet has been down for 3 years or so, Randy Rainbow is the writer, producer, and star of a series of musical parody videos with a common theme or target.
He's all about his bass and his own self-dealings. Popular. You're really unpopular.
Have you ever talked to anyone within the Trump administration? Has anyone reached out to you?
Me and Kellyanne are having brunch next Sunday. The queen of alternative facts, Kellyanne Conway.
Okay, that's not real, but the name Randy Rainbow is.
I would not make it up, John. It was a tough childhood. It's working out now, but I wouldn't wish it on any 12-year-old.
A musical theater savant, he moved back to New York to reach for his dreams. He ended up reaching Hooters.
My first job was as a host at the Hooters on 57th Street.
And how did that work out?
For me, it was great, but imagine the poor gentleman after a hard day's work who would walk into Hooters and open the door, and there I'd be with my clipboard and shorts. I did not wear the orange shorts. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Eventually, Rainbow became a pretty successful producer of parody internet celebrity videos when, in 2016, lightning struck. As he might say, orange lightning.
He's supercalifragile, egocentric, braggadocious, likes to throw big words around and hopes that we all notice.
Braggadocious was the first major one. I think it got like 20 million views in 2 days.
That's a lot.
They tell me that's a lot. Is that good?
I think that's good.
Some other hits? Omarosa to the tune of Oklahoma.
Oh, Marosa, you're a mess, but I'm not mad you're here.
Desperate Cheeto to the tune of, well, you get the point.
Desperate Cheeto, upsetting everyone you meet, though.
Now he's getting millions of hits for every video and selling out his live show in a national tour.
He's staring at his stubby little fingers on his phone, wondering how to spell Kofifi.
Now that I'm on tour and I'm traveling the country, I'm getting to hear firsthand from people what they're taking from the videos, and I understand how cathartic they are for people. For some people it's an education, some people are learning things from my videos.
How do you solve a problem like Korea when you're a crazy dotard?
Dotard,
or a dotard, I'm sorry.
There's a lot of children in my audience, believe it or not. And there are parents and teachers who say they use my videos as teaching tools.
There are a lot of swear words in your videos.
Kellyanne, let's cut the I know, but I'd rather they hear it from me than the president.
Kofifi, kofefe, kafefe, kafefe. Let's call the whole thing off.
I understand now that what I'm doing is really even more important than I knew. And I think it's just a testament to how healing and important, especially in times like this, humor is.
Healing.
I'm just living vicariously through your videos right now. Thank you so much.
Healing for some, maybe naughty for others, but to some folks like Broadway legend Stephen Sondheim, folks who know, Rainbow's work, especially his lyrics, are just plain good.
It said that I was, as good as anyone writing today or some other things. I don't know. You have to look it up. I don't like to boast.
But that's pretty amazing. If I had told 12-year-old Randy Rainbow you'd be hanging out with Stephen Sondheim, what would he have said?
It would not have fit in my little brain. I would have thought you were crazy and called the police.
If I had told 12-year-old Randy Rainbow you would be writing about politics.
That's almost crazier, because I had no interest in politics whatsoever.
Now it's his job, which involves a lot of work and TV.
Well, I watch CNN constantly. It's on every television. I'll decide what the topic is. Then I'll write for about 3 to 4 hours. I'll record the song. And then I'll film for another 3 or 4, and then I stay up all night editing. I haven't slept since June of 2016.
So you watch a lot of CNN?
I do.
That's right, Wolf. Who's your favorite on CNN?
Well, I feel like I'm being set up here.
Who's your favorite?
John Berman is my favorite, although you could have brought Chris Cuomo.
I was going to say.
I would not have been mad. Did you bring Chris Cuomo with you? Anderson? John Berman? Any of my boyfriends? Oh, it's all right.
So what about the future? What if he loses his muse?
What if he loses?
What if he loses? Great, let's get a new cast in here. I'd be thrilled to have some new material, especially in a year's time.
Can you rhyme with Buttigieg?
I've tried. I'm still working on it.
Why they all crushing on Mayor Pete? Ooh, girl.
The way he sees it, no matter what happens, the world needs Randy Rainbow.
As long as there's news and controversy, and as long as there are racist, anti-Semitic, misogynistic bigots looking for a comeback, I'll be here.
Just be best.
Wow, what a guy. I love him.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think, I think everybody who sees that and who watches Randy, he must do one at least once a fortnight.
He's just amazing.
And,
I love his work. And the fact that he does it with a green screen in his apartment. You know?
Yeah, in Queens, and he also tours. He's touring America right now.
God bless him. I hope he makes shitloads of money. I really do.
Yeah, I hope so,
because I
too.
think he's absolutely hilarious. If you,
he did appear in the Broadway Encore's production of Call Me Madam last season, wearing his pink glasses, and received a standing ovation in the mid, just as meaning to be like a Washington celebrity. Because Call Me Madam is about about a female ambassador under Eisenhower.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, it was an Irving Berlin musical with Ethel Merman. Yeah, and he appeared as and the show stopped.
Of course it did. Because he made his own stardom.
Because he wore the signature glasses.
He's such a,
and so they could tell in the back row who it was. And it stopped, and they just applauded and applauded.
You know what amazes you the longer that you kind of rotate around the show business and stuff is how much and how many truly talented people there are out there. For every person that makes it big, there are thousands of people that are just incredibly talented, and it just doesn't go. You know, not that I'm saying anything about me personally, but it's. But no, but why not? Why not?
Why not?
You know, but no, it just doesn't go. And sooner or later, you just sit there and you go.
I met Stephen Sondheim in Hal Prince's office, and I thought he was the cleaner.
You met Stephen
so
Sondheim? Wow.
In Hal Prince's office.
Slut. He's my friend. My friend here worked with Anthony Hopkins. Did you get? You did.
Me, I did.
You worked with. He shared a scene in a movie.
And when I was there in New
Hopkins.
York, and I met Betty Compton and Adolph Green because I was supposed to be working as an intern on the show that
What
they were
was Anthony
writing.
Hopkins like?
Very nice, very quiet and reserved, and it was like going to a master class to act with him because it was like almost a one-on-one scene.
You did a one-on-one scene with Anthony Hopkins. I'd kill for that.
Yeah, it was. I only had one line.
Doesn't matter.
Had one line, and I was just the target. I was the target of his abuse, and but the thing is when you go from the master shot, which is always bigger, and you hold it, you focus it down to the close-up reverse over your shoulder, and it's intense. It's intense, and everything's very small, and every movement of the eyes is meaningful.
That's the first thing I learned when
but the point is it was the most amazing. It was a movie called, I think in America it was called The Efficiency Expert.
But it was called, what was it called?
Which here was
Spotwood.
Spotwood.
Yeah. And that was a funny movie, and you were good. As you were always good.
It was a cute
You were
little
in
movie.
Shine as well, the Oscar-nominated film. You were in The Dish, weren't you? Which is
briefly with John.
I was in
McMartin.
Mission Impossible. I did
late
Mission
John
Impossible,
McMartin.
the television series. Yeah,
The
that was
series?
filmed here.
Yeah, so
and
did I.
I played a villain,
Yeah.
an evil art dealer. But you know what the cool thing is I got to meet Peter Graves. Now, you got to understand, I grew up watching him get into a black sedan after tearing off a mask or something with that cool music. So I'm doing it with Peter Graves, right? And I have a scene where we meet, you know. And I'm sitting there going, "That's my childhood hero. That's Peter Graves, the white hair and everything, Mr. Phelps." And I go toward him, and this actually happened. And I went too soon. And the director, this old guy, came, no, what are you doing? He's an old Jewish guy. Strangely enough, he is. And he says, no, what are you doing? Don't do that. You go back there. I said, sorry. You need to, I was going to say you need to cue me, but, so I went back, and on the way back, Peter Graves saw that I was a little shaken because, I'm opposite Peter Graves and I'm screwing up. He put his hand around me, and he just sat there, and he said, don't worry about it. He's pissed off. He directed Pete's Dragon. He hasn't done anything decent since. And I went, what?
I got to be the one that gave him the the tape. The tape in the beginning?
He just sat there and he looked in my eyes and he said, just talk to me. And of course, then I was at ease and the next one was perfect.
But he'd won the Academy Award.
It's like when Graves, when I left, he invited me into his trailer and he autographed the script for me. I still have it. And I will always remember, you know when you bump into people who are nice, but they don't have to be, but they just are? Yeah.
Like you.
I'm a prick, but no, but no, but yes, I try to be nice.
That wasn't the word.
I know.
I
But
would use.
that when he died, I felt that it was a decent guy.
Billy, the show is going
Oh
on
yeah, I'm
too
just talking.
long.
Okay, well listen.
They've all turned
Have you turned off yet?
off.
Okay, listen, we love you all, and we'll see you in the next 2 weeks for more madcap fun.
And I'm sorry I said all
No,
those
you're
C
not.
words.
You're not ever. We'll talk to you later. Remember, hit us on thebillshow.net. Everything Bill Show in one place where you can sponsor us.
And give us money.
a few
Give us
bucks
money.
if you
Give
can.
us money.
And until next time.
I'm tired of Bill begging.
Please, sir.
Please.
Till next time, see you later. Bye.
Bye, everybody. See ya.